What's up, everybody? The Prof is here. How is everyone doing? Let's see how our sound sounds. Almost forgot my sidekicks here. So it is Friday. What is today? I don't even know what day it is. They're all the same. I cannot. Let's see, can you guys hear the sound? I cannot hear it. Hello. Oh, I guess I can hear the sound. You can hear it or you cannot hear it? Oh, there it is. I can hear this. Mine was just a little weird though. All right, so we are off and running. I am Prof Sales and you are watching Profit Sharing. So hope you guys are having a great Friday, October 7th. Friday the 7th. I guess that's not really a scary day, is it? It's Friday the 13th. And let's see. Let me clear out a couple things here off my screen. All right, so I'm coming to you from Charlotte, North Carolina. A very wet and soggy Charlotte, North Carolina, as we are starting to get some of the remnants or some of the moisture that's getting pushed over this way from that hurricane. I don't know if this is really the hurricane rain, but it's kind of getting pushed this way. And it's going to rain. It's been raining most of the morning. And I guess we get a little break for a couple hours, but then it's going to rain for the next 12 or 18 hours. So go figure. But that's fine. The temperature's not bad. And, you know, so we're getting through it. At least we don't have to deal with the winds and things like that, at least at this point. Hopefully we will not. But we shall see. All right, so I hope today finds all you guys good and well. And if you are in the path of that hurricane, I hope you are in shelter and not out braving the storm. It seems like it's a little too dangerous to try anything foolish like that. So we'll get started on the day and see who's here. I saw a couple other people earlier. Spiky had a trivia question. What's up, Spiky? Which Goodwill employees has to clean the bathroom and why? I'm not sure what that means, Spiky. You'll have to elaborate on that, why that's a burning thought in your head. Glenn is here. Fun stuff. So we got some other people in the room. And yeah, it's going to be a good day. So today's show, I mentioned I'm going to try to use the sourcing tool and use the screen sharing function. And we can go in and we can look at some brands, some ideas, some things you might want to sell, and just see what eBay thinks about them. For those of you who don't know, the sourcing tool is a new tool that is found under your growth category in the Seller Hub. Not every eBay seller has it. In fact, it seems like most do not. I don't know why I was lucky enough to get it, but I was. I didn't do anything special or remember anything like that. I don't have any special friends at eBay or anything like that. But for whatever reason, I have it. So yesterday's show, I decided so people asked about it, I will go in. And if you have a specific brand, if you have a specific item that you would like to look up with this sourcing tool, we will do our best to look it up here on the show and see what eBay's stats say about it. Because this sourcing tool, for those of you who don't know, apparently pulls in all the info from eBay's listings, you know, across the entire platform. So if you're trying to sell something, this tool is going to, you know, be a godsend for you to see kind of like the seasonality of it. If they expect that there's going to be a lot of opportunity in it, if so, which ones, which variations, which models, which sizes, which colors, you know, all the various attributes you can think about with a specific item to sell. So it's a really great tool, but it's so new that, you know, not a lot of people are using it yet. But if you have something that you'd like to look up or like me to look up, please leave it in the chat box. If you're watching this later, you could leave in a comment, and I could try to look it up, but I just don't want to get into too much of that because that could get really, really time consuming to go in and look up, 20 things and chat comments. I could spend a lot of time doing that. So I prefer you do it here in the live show, but in any case, we'll see what we can do. All right. A couple other things too I wanted to clear up. A couple people asked about this, made comments on yesterday's show about the name, changing the name. As most of you know, I just called this a reselling challenge show. That was the name of the show for this mid-afternoon show for several weeks now. But I realized at some point that the show wasn't really about a reselling challenge. I mean, that's why I started doing these daily vlogs, but it evolved into something quite different. And what it evolved into was a community where we all get together and we all are asking questions. We're all sharing information. We were all trying to learn from one another, whether it was through the challenge I was doing or lots of other people and comments that were made about lots of other topics. So I decided that the name of the show didn't really reflect the the gist of the show. So I started thinking about, well, what would be a better name? And, obviously my name on here, the name of my channel is Prof Sales. So I thought, well, it'd be cool to have the name Prof in it because that would kind of identify as mine. And then we are here trying to make profit, which, so I came up with that part of Prof-It. And Karen helped with this too, and she had a lot of input into the name as well. And then I thought, but what's the point of the show? Well, we're sharing information that we hope will enable us to make profits. So that's why we came up with profit sharing. And the little hyphen is just kind of a nod to, it's a double meaning, the profit part. I mean, you can like or not like the name, but I think at least it better reflects what the show really has evolved into. Obviously, I'm still going to tell you about, how the jeans and the listing challenge is going. That's not going to go away. It's just not going to be the only focus of the show, nor the main focus even, because really the show is about, us helping each other out, us helping other resellers and learning from each other. I learn tons of things from you guys all the time. So that's the reason we changed the name to profit sharing. And, it's just kind of catchy, I think. It makes sense. It's, like I said, it's a double meaning. It has my name in it. I don't know. I just thought it made sense. And hopefully that clears that up. All right, what else? So yesterday, I haven't shared the results yet, but yesterday was a not great sales day for me. I don't know how everybody else did. It was a crappy day. I'll just say that. And it was a crappy day because, honestly, I own it. I did not list nearly enough. And the listings I did late at night last night. So I did not really get the benefit of, kind of the listing bump that everybody thinks exists with eBay, which I think it does too. I don't dispute that. But my sales were definitely down yesterday from what they have been the last couple weeks. But with me not listing anything really the whole day until right at the end of the night, I mean, I literally was listing guys like at 11 o'clock at night last night. I'm like, I'm not leaving this day with this few listings. So I can't complain too much. I didn't do my part. If you don't put in the effort, you're not likely to get the results. You still may not get the results even if you put in the effort. But if you don't put in the effort, you're pretty much not going to get the results, period. And I did not put in the effort yesterday. Full disclosure, total honesty. I did not put in the effort, and I did not get the results. So, no one to blame, no excuses. And what was I doing instead? Well, I was doing some other business things yesterday. I won't say that I wasn't just goofing off, but I kind of lost some focus yesterday, and that led to me not being as productive as I could have been, for sure. and I got too tied up in a couple other things business-wise that were not listing related. I don't know. But in any case, I didn't list a lot yesterday. I didn't list until very late, and my sales sucked. So the moral of the story is list a lot and list early and list often. If you don't do that, you're not going to get great results. I mean, it's just pretty much impossible. So, you live and you learn, right? And unfortunately, I've learned that lesson before, but at least now I'm not surprised when I get the crappy results. And I don't go looking for people to blame. I don't blame eBay, or I don't blame crappy buyers, or I don't blame the weather or anything. I blame myself because I didn't do what I should have done. So it's on me. Some other people in the room. Swamp says, "Hey, what's up, Glenn? Mark and Matt are, and Marcos are here as well. Welcome all. Welcome all." Mark says he always lists even if it's minimum. Yeah, I know, right? I mean, I did, Mark. I don't know if you caught the first part of my statement. I did list, but it was late at night, right at the end of the day, like an hour and a half before, midnight. Hey, there's Karen. Hello, up in beautiful New Hampshire. She's been sending me pictures all day, and it's just beautiful up there. A little too cold for the prof. Let's be real. But how cold was it this morning, Karen, when you woke up? Tell everybody that in the chat when you get a moment. But beautiful place, beautiful country up there, I'm sure, and nice to visit, I'm sure, especially in the summer. But I might trade it for Charlotte today with this just rain. This just bleh. So but we'll get through this next 24 hours. It'll be okay. So some people are filtering in now, guys. So if it's 48 degrees today when she woke. Oof, too cold. So if you guys, you may have missed the beginning. If you have we're going to try to do some sourcing tool lookups on eBay. So if you have some specific types of items or categories of items you would like me to look up and screen share, I'm going to do my best to do some of those and provide it. So just type them in the chat box. If you've got a specific brand, doesn't have to be clothing, it can be anything. If you have a specific brand you want to look up, if you have a specific item, a specific category, and I will show you the screen share. I'll try to screen share the shot of it and show you what eBay says about it with this new sourcing guidelines tool. We're going to see how this works. It's going to be a little tricky, but I think I can make it work. I was messing around with it earlier before we got online, and I think I can get it to work. So so just type in the chat box if you have any of those, and if not, then maybe we'll demo a couple as well. Swamp says aluminum lawn chairs. All right. Aluminum lawn chairs. Well, that's interesting. Swamp, full disclosure, when I was a kid, we used to take those and cut off the legs, like the really cheap ones. We would stick the leg down into a piece of wood we had cut out. We would drilled out the top and put some like mortar, not mortar, but like, caulk there, and they would make bottle rocket launchers. All right. Anyway, true story. We really did that. All right. So let me see if I can go to the tool and pull that up. So give me just a moment, guys. I'm going to try to go over there and do that. And I'm going to type in aluminum lawn chairs. All right, so I'm going to go do a screen share and show you what came up, Glenn. And so I typed in, you didn't say if they were new or used, Glenn. Can you clarify that part, if they were new or used? Rainbow vacuums. Oh, yeah, Rainbow, the ones with the water. Yeah, I remember those. I used to sell Kirby's many years ago. E2. All right, so if you guys can put in there used or new, that would help too, because it does let you source. We're going to look at his lawn chairs that Glenn pulled up or asked me about. So give me just one moment here. All right, so let me see if I can get this screen share to work right. All right, guys, so hopefully you are seeing this screen share. Yep, you're seeing it. So you can see here, this is a 5-year average. This is of aluminum lawn chairs. And you can see this is eBay's info for 5 years put into one graph over the course of a year. So you can see, now it doesn't tell you how much sales volume this is over here, but for aluminum lawn chairs used, you can see that there's a slow period here in January and February, and then it tends to ramp up in the spring. Now, that kind of fits because if you think about a Home Depot or Lowe's, this is their busiest time of the year, right through here. This is their Super Bowl from like March to middle of May. And then it sort of falls off a bit and stays kind of steady for a while here during the summer and then drops down to today, Glenn. And this is used, by the way. And you can see right here, we're heading towards the slow area. So the amount of chairs you're going to sell on eBay over the next few months is probably going to be fairly minimal. It also shows you a price breakdown. 32% of them are under $20, have sold for under 20 bucks. 57% are $20 to $100. 10% are 100 to 500, and 1% is 500 plus. I think if we go down here a little bit more, we're going to see that with aluminum chairs, they're showing a gross score of 68. That is really strong, by the way. Anything over 0, they will show. If it's below that, they're not going to show it. If it's below 0, if it's a negative score at 0. So you've got tremendous opportunity in aluminum. Vinyl, some opportunity, and canvas, not as much. And then down below, you could even pull up material, MPN, brand, type, color, and so on. You could get more specific. But even type here, you can see with the lawn chair, folding chair, patio chairs, beach chairs. Some of these are, you're going to have to play around with it to get the exact one you want. Multicolor seems to be the best, with green is the next best. Very close, 59 and 58. And then brand, it doesn't have any brand scores here. So that's what it is for aluminum lawn chair. So that was hopefully helpful. All right, so yeah, and nylon strapping, Swamp, you could probably go on there and play around with that and see what it looks like. Let's see, somebody else said Rainbow Vacuum E2 series. All right, give me just a moment and I will go over and find that. And I'm assuming used. Okay, Rainbow Vacuum E2 series. Hang on one second, let me back out of this and back out of this. Rainbow Vacuum. All right, brand. Let's see if I can pull this up. Give me just one second. I'm looking up the rainbow here. I'm just trying to find it in the list. All right. And E2. All right, so, all right, I'm going to go over and do this share on the rainbow. And I think this will be a cool one as well. Hopefully you'll get something out of this. I think you will. Let's see. And we'll go back to the screen share. Okay, so this is vacuum cleaners. Now, it doesn't break it out just with rainbows, but you see with vacuum cleaners, this is interesting. Again, a drop off in the summer. All right, and then it seems to be pretty steady, and then going towards a peak in November and December. And you can see the prices over here. These are used ones. Less than $20, only 6%. So vacuum cleaners are going to sell for a bit more money, obviously, than lawn chairs. That sort of makes sense intuitively. $20 to $100 and $100 to $500 is 93% of the market. Okay, and it shows you some top opportunities. Dyson has tremendous growth opportunity, a very popular vacuum cleaner. The Shark is pretty popular as well as the Kenmore. Roomba, Auric, 65, 65, Electrolux, Hoover, Nito, Eureka, and Black & Decker are the top vacuum brands. But if we go to the Rainbow, oh, is it not screen sharing? Oops, my bad. Sorry, guys. I thought it was sharing. That's weird. Let's try that again. It's like it's, I just got a text from Karin saying it wasn't screen sharing right. That's really weird. Oh, come on. Oh, okay. Here we go. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. Let's move back. I'll start again on the Rainbow. Sorry about that. Here's the seasonality of it. You can see a drop in the summer and then, you know, similar. And as I mentioned, 93% of the sales are between $20 to $500. It's kind of a big spread. The top brands of vacuum cleaners, 90 growth opportunity. Dyson, Shark, Kenmore, Roomba, and Auric are all about the same, these four, but Dyson's by far got the top. Electrolux, Hoover, Nito, Eureka, Black & Decker. And then here's the Rainbow you were talking about. It has a lower growth score, but that average sale price is pretty high, $313. That's pretty good, I would think. I mean, I don't know what you'd buy it for used, but you know, if you can get one used and fix it up, it's going to go for a pretty good amount of money. All right, so I didn't see a way to break it out by that specific model. So, but in general, Rainbow has a pretty good sale price, just not as much growth as some of the other brands. All right, so let's hold on that one. All right, let me come back. All right. All right, let's see what else we got there. Old Navy straight fit jeans, Mark says. All right, we'll go into a clothing one. So let's see what we got here. Old Navy straight fit jeans, men's, and I'm assuming used. All right, let me pull that up. Give me just a second. Let's see what we got. Oh, something sold. Love that sound. All right, so let's see. There's jeans. And we need a brand here of Old Navy. Man, there's a lot of jeans brands. Who would want to sell jeans and have to know all these stupid brands? Oh, wait, never mind. Guess that would be me. All right, Old Navy. And you wanted straight fit, straight leg. Okay, so let me do the share and we'll see what this looks like. Hang on. Screen share and bada bang. All right, Mark, so you can see here's that jeans dip as we see in the summer, which we already kind of knew about, but we're starting to peak now for jeans. It's heading towards the peak and it'll stay strong for many months now. Price breakdown, under 20 bucks is 61% of the used jeans on eBay, 37% fall 20 to 100. I'm going to message eBay. This needs to be a smaller range. This is a huge range for jeans, $20 to $100 for used jeans. Some of the sizes, this is just in general. It breaks out by sizes. 34 has a lot of growth, and so does 32 potentially, with 33 right behind. That's probably because so many people get into the bigger sizes on jeans and so on. So that kind of makes sense. 36 is still pretty strong. And then 46 and 44 are still strong too, but not as strong as some of the smaller sizes, which is interesting. So you mentioned Old Navy Classic Straight Leg. Well, here it is. It has a growth opportunity of 44. and an average sales price of $11.15. Now, I don't know, Mark, if that price includes shipping. It probably does not. So if you throw your shipping on top of that, obviously it's a little bit more. But $11.15 is about the average price. Okay growth, nothing to write home about, but there you go for Old Navy. So there we have it. All right. So, hey, Ben. So let's see what else we got here. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up to some of these. Very Sneaky says he sold a 12, or she says, I sold a $1,200 TriStar vacuum in 1987. Nice. Yvonne's there. Hello, Yvonne. All right, 70s, 80s. Let's see what else is here. If everyone uses this data, won't that further skew the results? You know what? You know the thing here. Here's the thing, King. Somebody was asking about that. But if everybody has this, everyone can have it, and it still doesn't mean everyone's going to use it. And even if the people use it, doesn't mean they're going to use it correctly. It's kind of like saying, you know, you could go out and you could probably read all the information and figure out how to perform surgery on someone. But you're not probably ever going to have to do that, and you're not going to go become a surgeon necessarily. And even if you did read all the information, you still might not do it correctly. It's just, I'm not saying this is as complicated as surgery, but it's complicated to a sense, and it requires work that not everybody's going to be willing to put in. And that's the way it is with anything. Just because the information is out there doesn't mean everyone's going to take advantage of it, and nor that they're going to use it correctly. So I don't know. I'm not going to sweat that. And this is eBay's tool. It's not mine. I didn't come up with it. So anyway, Zerkburn says, suddenly I can see the sourcing tool. There you go. Cool. How about graphic t-shirts? Yeah, I don't know, Emily. You might have to get a little more specific than graphic t-shirts. Can you see what top brands are for athletic wear women's? I can try. Yvonne. Let's try that. Let's see what that comes up with. Athletic wear. Wait, how did you put that? Athletic wear women's. So if we do clothing, women's clothing, athletic apparel, I would suppose that's what you're getting at. And I'm assuming you're talking used. All right, so I'll show you what it came up with, Yvonne. Let's see. Let me go do the screen share. And boom. All right, so here is athletic women's wear. You see again that summer drop off, although it seems to go a little later in the summer than maybe like jeans and things like that. Maybe because, I don't know why. People seem to keep buying it all the way into the summer, it looks like. And then in July and August it drops. And then it kind of stays steady for most of the year. Most of it's under $20, 2/3 of it. And 1/3 is $20 to $100. Top opportunities in sizes, size 6 and 8 are the top, with 10 close behind, then 4, then 12, XL. Let's see some styles. Shorts for athletic apparel for women's. This is top opportunity for women. Skirts, shorts, and dresses. Some of this, I don't know if athletic apparel, skirts, skirts, and dresses. Okay. Base layers, capri, and so on. So sports bras, bra tops, shirts, and tops. By sport, running is number 1. Tennis, fitness and yoga, Zumba, golf. Interesting. And then brand, Lululemon is number 1 with Athleta, Nike, Under Armour, Victoria's Secret, Prana, Zumba, Zella, Lucy Activewear, and Nike Golf. Now, you may have to go back and watch this video and pause it. So you've got an age group. It's all adult, top combinations. It goes into combinations, too, which is interesting. Shorts, running, Nike, medium, has a great growth score, but an average sale price of just $13.49. So you'd have to get it sourced at a low enough price to make that make sense. Small also has a great opportunity, but with a similar price, and so on and so on. So some good stuff there. Let's see. Palmetto says, I can see the sourcing tool, but I have to pay extra for it to work. Mine will not search. What? I have no idea, Palmetto. That doesn't sound right. I'm not aware that I paid anything extra for this. It just showed up. That's Chad is in the house. What's up, Chad? King says, I think the estimate question here is, does this data match your spreadsheet? Yeah, I mean, it kind of does with brands and so on. Pretty darn close. I mean, it's got a lot more data points than my spreadsheet is ever going to have, so it's going to be far more accurate. And if it comes down to a question between my records or eBay's records, I'm going to choose eBay's records every time because they've got the whole market. They've got, millions and millions of listings to look through. I don't have that information, crunched like this. King says, I guess I can spend 8 hours mining this data or get some work done. You can do whatever you want, King. I mean, I don't think you have to spend 8 hours, but if you're thinking about selling something or you already are selling something, you want to know if you're priced accurately, if you're buying the right types of items, if you're getting the right sizes, color combinations, whatever whatever your metrics are, it's a great tool. It's a tool just like anything else. I mean, all these things are tools, guys. I mean, you can decide if you want to use them and improve your business and use them to improve your business or not. It's up to you. You certainly don't have to. So it looks like there's some other people who are starting to get it to work too, which is awesome. I'm glad other people are finally starting to get it. I mean, I was really hoping I'd be the only one forever, but it doesn't sound like that's going to happen. So no, I'm glad you guys are starting to get it working, and it's another tool you can use to see just where you're at with your business, if your pricing is accurate, if the brands you think are good, if there's opportunity, at least under eBay's estimation. And then whoever uses this information the best is going to be who wins in who wins in this business. I mean, it's information. Information is valuable. I mean, information is everything in this business. I mean, how many of you guys, there's people that say, well, I don't want to go out. I don't want to spend the money on a smartphone to go out and scan things. Okay, we don't have to, but man, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage, when other people are doing that. I mean, that's a tool. It's a tool. We take it for granted, and but there are people at the beginning who say, oh, I don't need to do that. I know everything. Well, you don't know everything. And you don't know more than the market knows. So that's the way I look at it. But, use it or don't use it. That's up to you. Yvonne says, thanks for this today. Oh, you're very welcome. I'm glad yours is, you've got something out of it, Yvonne. I mean, yeah, I mean, Palmetto says definitely another good tool. Yeah. And guys, I told you, like, it just showed up maybe a week or so ago, whatever it was. I had no idea. I mean, I think a search, I kind of was going slow through the search, honestly. Like if I was searching on my own and not explaining what I was seeing, I would have gone through those searches much quicker. I mean, if you wanted to do the searches we did on your own, I mean, they would take you like 10, 15 seconds to search. That's about all it would really take. And you would know what you need to know. So I don't think it's a big time suck at all. I mean, I think it's pretty quick. I think they've come up with a pretty good tool. I mean, it needs a little tweaking. They need to tweak the ranges, the selling ranges. Like $20 to $100 is a big range for clothing. I wish they would tighten that up a little bit. That doesn't make sense. I mean, there is used clothing that goes for $100, but there's a lot of used clothing that goes for, under $30. And, to have all that $20 to $30 range lumped in with the $20 to $100 range doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But maybe they'll adjust those and play and tweak those a little bit and play with those, and that's cool. But it's a great tool. I mean, if you've got a brand, there's nothing saying, guys, like you're out in a store and you could pull up your Seller Hub, the desktop version on your phone, and check out a brand and see if there's good opportunity in it. I mean, yeah, you can look at the solds as well in the eBay app, but you could pull up the brand info in the sourcing part of your hub and in the growth part of your hub and see if it's worth buying or not, if eBay is estimating that there's value. Now, one caveat to all this is we don't know what eBay's formulas are for doing all this. I'm not sure how they're figuring out, oh, this brand has opportunity and this one doesn't. I'd be kind of curious to see, like in jeans, especially since it's a niche, I'd love to see like a brand they don't think there's opportunity in versus one they think there is. Because then I would kind of have an idea about what they're basing those metrics on, and if they, and just how to utilize that information a little better. Because here's where the conspiracy theorist in me, and I really don't have a conspiracy theorist vein, but if every brand on there says that there's opportunity, that profits eBay, right? If they came on and said, let's say there's 1,000 brands of jeans, and they said every brand has growth opportunities. Well, they're encouraging people to go out and buy those brands and list them, which makes eBay more money. So that's the part where I say, what are they going to, what brands they have or what items they have that are not profitable. It would be nice to see those just to make sure they do exist in some number, because there's got to be some brands and items out there where the market's saturated, because you guys always hear people complain about that in the reseller community, right? Oh, this brand's saturated. Oh, this area's got too many sellers in it. All right, well, use this tool now and find them, and let's discuss and see if eBay thinks the same thing. I don't know. I mean, you can eyeball and say that that's the truth, but I wonder if eBay thinks the same. So I don't know. King says, so will you let eBay handle the data for you going forward to save time? I'm not sure what you mean by that question. They're already handling the data for me. I don't know what other time I'm going to save. I mean, using that tool takes time. I can't sit here and say that I'm going to depend on their metrics 100% because I don't know how they're getting them. Quite honestly, I think they have the potential to be incredibly accurate and helpful. However, some of the questions that I'm going to ask, I don't know if their data really tells me. For instance, they may say that this brand has more growth than that brand. I mean, I get that to a point, but it also depends on what I can buy things for. It also depends on how much inventory I can get in my area. And those are questions that eBay's tool can't answer for me. I don't know. I guess we'll see. I mean, I don't know. I haven't really thought about how to integrate it completely. The problem, King, here's the problem. And I mentioned this with the first video I did on this subject a couple weeks ago. The problem is this. If people are lazy, which I'm going to say that's the default position of most people, here's what I suspect is going to happen. Let's say in jeans. People are going to look at used jeans, and they're going to pull up that graph, and they're going to go, and it's going to go down, and it's going to list the top 10 brands. All right? It's going to list the top 10 brands in jeans, and people who want to sell jeans are going to go buy those brands, and they're going to list those brands. And that's a scenario where those people are going to saturate the market potentially because they're going off of what eBay's telling them. Now, we don't know that's going to happen 100%, but I'll be interested to see. And there's not limitless demand out there, but there can be tremendous demand. If BKE, which the other day was the top denim brand in terms of opportunity, if BKE is still the top denim brand 3 months from now, after people have seen this tool for a while, or 6 months from now, maybe even 6 months, that'll be very interesting to me, because that would indicate people are either not using the tool, or they're using the tool, but the demand is still outstripping the supply. It's got to be one of those two, right? And we'll see if that happens. If that happens, then the tool becomes, it's still meaningful, but you've got to dive deeper into it, because you can't just be lazy and say, well, I'm just going to sell whatever it says the top few brands are. If everyone else does that in big numbers, it's going to push prices down. We know that when there's more supply and there's not rising demand, price falls. That's just a basic rule of economics. So I'll be curious to see whether or not I can use this tool the same way that everybody else is or not. I'm just not sure. I don't know, but can you filter top 10 brands of something by price range? I don't think so, Yvonne. I don't think you can filter by the price range, but we'll see. Palmetto says, I know it's off topic, but I just got GoDaddy and pulled all the eBay and PayPal info in and showed my profit loss. Worth the money for me. Saved a ton of time. Yep. That's right, Palmetto. You can use that and take that to your accountant, and they can do your taxes straight from it. It's a little quirky, I think. GoDaddy bookkeeping used to be called Outright. Now it's GoDaddy. But it does pull everything in. It's probably the best app for that. You can pull in other stuff too. You can pull in your, I believe you could pull in your Amazon sales as well. I'm not sure about your other platforms, probably. So you could use it for all that if you like. So, oh, Karen's leaving. Bye. Got to go. Have a terrific weekend, everyone. Yeah, she's got to go. She's got to go sightsee. That's what she's got to go do. So it's such a tough life she's living up there, right? But she'll be back on Monday, so she's having a great time with her friend. So they're getting ready to celebrate a birthday. But yeah, guys, so that's the tool. I hope it helps you guys out. It sounds like more of you are starting to get it, and that's cool. You know, any tool is worth your time to check out. I always feel like, you know, I mean, tools are what make jobs easier. They're not supposed to make it more difficult. But there's a learning curve in learning how to use the tool and integrate it correctly with your business. And this one will take that as well. My advice, though, is don't follow the herd. Usually in business, you succeed when you do kind of the opposite of the way the market is trending sometimes, as long as you make a smart strategic move in the opposite direction. And, you know, just use it to find things that other people are not finding. You know, don't just look at the top 10s and say, that's what I'm going to sell. Okay, you can do that, but look for other things too outside of the top 10. I think I mentioned this a couple weeks ago. You know, the 11th ranked brand is still going to be good opportunity in most cases. And no one's even going to see it on the list unless they drill down a little further. I mean, that's where you can find your opportunities. I mean, there's all these niche jean brands that, yeah, you're not going to find them in the quantity that you're going to find Levi and American Eagle. But, you know, I was having lunch with my friend, and he was looking at I was actually asking him a spreadsheet question, because he's really smart with that kind of stuff. And he's like, hey, what about this brand? Looks like it's good. And this brand. And I had all these little niche brands where my sell-through was really good, like, you know, 80, 85%. And it just reminded me, it's like, man, there's money to be made in other areas than just where the herd is going. Yeah, I mean, Levi is my biggest lister. I've got the most listings of it, which makes sense. It's the top brand on eBay, but it's not the only brand I'm going to sell. You know, I've listed now over 100 and I think I've listed 110 brands now. And some have been better than others, of course, but you know, there's opportunity outside of where everybody else is going. And I think that's what the tool will help you realize if you use it. I mean, you can use it a couple ways. You can use it to validate what you're already doing, if it makes sense, given what all the numbers tell you. And you can use it to find new directions, you know, to go in some new paths. I think you can use it in both those ways. And, you know, there's millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of listings on eBay, and millions and millions of items you can sell. There's all these little niches that you can find that are not tapped out. I know, you know, you get the bolos and, you know, the Chewbacca mask, and the pie face game last year and people flood the market with them, and you know, it can hurt prices and so on. But man, that is just a tiny little fraction of all the items for sale. So you don't have to always go where the herd is going to be successful in this business. You know, you can do that, but you can also go off in your own directions too. And now you've got another great tool eBay provides you with to help you do that. So, you know, use it, don't use it, it's up to you. Hopefully that was helpful. We can revisit the topic in the future if you want. If you've got other questions about it, that's cool. I'm not an expert on it. This is only probably about the third or fourth time so far that I've really opened it up and done much with it. So I'm still learning it, but you know, I think it's a good tool. I think it's definitely got some usefulness. I think eBay has done a good job with this tool, and we'll see how it affects these brands and so on going forward. I'll be very curious to see what that looks like. So. All right, guys, well, listen, I've got a lot of listing to do, and the rain's starting to come back here, I think, so it's a perfect time to start, right? So if you're watching this video afterwards or watching it right now, please hit the like button, smash the like button. Let me know that I'm doing a good job. Lets YouTube know that I'm doing a good job as well. Leave me a comment down below, and I'll try to answer and reply to you. If you've got a question or specific comment, I try to answer every single one of them. And consider subscribing to Prof Sales so you can get every video when it comes out, and you don't have to go searching for it. All right, so I will probably be back Monday at the earliest, guys. I might get a weekend show in tomorrow or Sunday. We'll see, maybe Sunday. But if not, I will definitely see you guys on Monday, and I hope you have a great weekend of sales. I love you guys, and I hope that everything in your business is just going swimmingly well. All right, so that's going to do it for now, guys, and this is Prof Sales saying good sales to you.